Yesterday, I talked about belief, how it's the one thing that truly shapes our lives. But today, we're going to get a little more practical because even if you believe you can build a better life, you can't do it if you're stuck in a system that keeps you trading your time for money. So let's talk about that trap because it's one most of us were never warned about. Growing up, most of us were taught the same formula: go to school, get a good steady job, work hard, be loyal, and someday you'll happily retire. Now, that sounded good when we were kids, right? But let's fast forward to today. And what do most of us have? We have long hours, rising bills, and maybe, if we're lucky, we get a couple of weeks off each year to remember what life feels like. Let me ask you a question. Does that sound familiar to you? Look, I lived that life for years. I used to work in private security. I worked long hours, late nights, same pay. Sometimes I'd work 12 or 14 hours. I'd drive home half asleep and wonder, is this really it? Because here's what nobody tells you. When you trade your hours for dollars, you're not building freedom. You're renting it. Okay? It's one paycheck at a time. And here's the crazy part. Even if you work harder, even if you do everything right, there's still a ceiling because time is limited, right? You can only work 24 hours in a day. You can't get rich selling something that runs out the second you stop working. I want you to think about it. If you stop showing up, the money stops. Look, that's not security. That's a treadmill disguised as a career. You ever notice how they call it making a living? Like, that's the goal? Just to make a living? What about living a life? That's what I started asking myself after years of chasing overtime. I realized I didn't own my time. My job did. My boss controlled my hours, my income, my schedule, my holidays, everything. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. If someone else controls your time, they can control your life. And the person who signs your paycheck can control your future. That quote from Robert Kiyosaki, it changed me forever. He said, the person who signs your paycheck controls your life. Shouldn't that person be you? And I remember sitting there thinking, yeah, it should be. But the moment I had that realization, fear showed up again. Now, how would I even start something on my own? What if I fail? What if it's too late? And you know what? Those are valid fears because we've been trained our entire lives to think inside someone else's system. But here's the truth. The system we were taught, clock in, trade time, collect a check, was built for the industrial age. We're living in the digital age now. And if you don't adapt, that system will chew you up and spit you out. Because while you're sitting there trading hours, other people are building systems that pay them while they sleep. That's when I started looking for something different, something that didn't rely on my hours to make money. I wanted to build something once and let it keep working. That's when I found the Legacy Builder program. Now, I'll be honest, when I first heard about an automated business, I was pretty skeptical. I thought, yeah, right. Nothing runs without me doing all the work. But then I learned what automation really means. Automation doesn't mean magic. It means building a system that handles the stuff you shouldn't be wasting your time on. It means emails get sent automatically. Customers find you instead of you chasing them. And sales happen 24/7, not just when you're awake. Look, that's when it clicked. I didn't need more hours. I needed leverage. So I started learning. The Legacy Builder program gave me step-by-step training, not just how to market online, but how to build a system that works around the clock. I learned how to attract my perfect customer instead of convincing anyone. I learned how to use tools that do 80% of the heavy lifting automatically. And I started seeing the difference between working in my business and working on my future. Because here's the thing. When your business runs 24/7, you start to realize how valuable time actually is. Suddenly you're not waking up to an alarm clock. You're waking up to results. You're not asking for a raise. You're creating one. Now that's freedom. Freedom isn't about fancy cars or giant houses. It's about choice. It's about being able to decide how you spend your day. It's about never missing another family dinner because of a double shift, never having to choose between your job and your life. That's what this business gave me, and it's what I wanted for you. Now, maybe you're thinking, yeah, David, that sounds great for you, but I'm not sure if it will work for me. And I get it. I was there as well. But let me tell you, if you can show up for a job, it's 40 hours a week for someone else's dreams, you can show up for 2 hours a day for your own dreams. You don't need to know everything. You just need a proven system and the courage to start. And that's exactly what the Legacy Builder program gives you. It teaches you how to create an automated business that you can run in just 2 hours a day. No cold calls, no chasing friends or family, no tech worries, just simple, guided steps that show you how to make money that works for you. So let me ask you something. How long do you want to keep renting your time? Because if you don't build something that pays you when you're not working, you'll spend the rest of your life working for someone who did. And that's a tough truth, but it's the truth that changed my life. If you're done trading your time for money, if you're ready to take back your time and finally build something that works when you don't, do me a favor, click the link in my bio. Check out the Legacy Builder program. You'll see how to build your automated business, start earning from anywhere in the world, and finally start living life on your terms. Because you deserve that. Your family deserves that. And your future deserves that as well. Now, tomorrow in video 3 of 7, we're going to talk about the massive opportunity that's happening right now. The e-learning industry that's growing faster than anything else on the planet, and how you can position yourself to be part of it. Trust me, that one is going to open your eyes. So for now, remember this. You don't get paid by the hour. You get paid by the value you create. And when you build something that runs without you, that's when your time finally becomes yours again.